You know what, Emily? I love a good cup of tea.
Me too.
You can have it any time of day. You can put whatever you want in it. Milk, sugar, honey. It's warm, it's comforting. It's basically like a hug in a mug.
You're right. It's a popular stereotype that Brits love tea, and that tea is British. And that is a bit true. In fact, we Brits like tea so much that we drink around 165 million cups per day.
But how British is tea really? And why do we drink so much of it? Watch this video to find out. Brits have been drinking tea for centuries, but it hasn't always been popular. On the 23rd of September in 1658, the first advert for tea was published in a British newspaper. It was called a China drink, because the British East India Company brought it to Britain from Asia. At first, Londoners really weren't sure about tea. What was wrong with coffee or gin? Gin in particular was very cheap. People didn't see the need to try something new.
It wasn't until King Charles II's wife, Catherine, a Portuguese tea lover, started to drink tea in the English royal court that tea became popular with rich women. It was expensive to produce tea and to bring it to Britain, but the company could sell it at a high price because they knew wealthy women would buy it.
Often, people drank tea with sugar. This showed how rich they were and stopped tea from tasting bitter. It was fashionable to drink tea from your finest china teacups, often with a saucer. But if you wanted to look fancy while drinking tea, you didn't point your little finger outwards. Instead, you were supposed to curl all your fingers towards the cup.
In the early 1700s, the first tea shop opened in London, bringing tea to more people, but it was still very expensive. Now you know that tea was a product grown in Asia and made popular in England by a Portuguese woman. So far, not so British. However, tea grew in India, Sri Lanka and China, places that were often part of the British Empire. Because the British had colonised these countries, they could steal the tea. We don't often talk about this, but it does mean that tea has links to the horrors of colonialism under the British Empire.
There's no such thing as British tea, but because it was imported by the British East India Company, it was seen as very British. As cultivation and transportation techniques improved, tea became cheaper. By the 1800s, it was cheaper than beer and more popular than coffee and gin.
Two kinds of tea drinkers emerged: rich people who drank it at home in the afternoon, and poorer people, often workers, who made their tea outside, bringing their tea equipment with them to work.
I think the fact that tea is still popular today proves that Catherine was right. It's pretty tasty. In the UK today, all kinds of people drink tea whenever they like. On a tea break at work, in a tea room in the afternoon, or at a train station cafe in the middle of the night. We drink all kinds of tea: green tea, fruit tea, black tea, and we drink it in all kinds of ways. With milk, without milk, with sugar, with honey.
All this talking has made me thirsty. What do you say? Should we have a cuppa?
Oh yeah. Do you like to drink tea? What's your favourite kind? Let us know, and see you next time.